All right, today we're going to make a gingerbread house. Not from gingerbread, though. Something that we can keep forever and ever and ever and ever. Yep, like I said, this isn't going to be gingerbread. As much as we love gingerbread, we're going to start with a good old regular birdhouse that you get from any craft store. And then I'm going to make a few of these because I'm being very productive today. So we'll start with this and let's give it a good coat of gingerbread brown or satin boots brown, whatever. Same thing, right? I got a good coating, painted everything. I also had like a coppery spray that I just kind of sprayed over the top of it just to give it a little sparkle. So you'll probably see it a little bit shiny there. A few things I gathered. Now I found this string of lights at the dollar store, of all things. It's like $1.50 and I was like, I'll give it a go. I mean, it's just long enough. It's only about 10 lights. And I think this is going to go nicely on our big gingerbread house. Also, throughout this time, I was just kind of finding anything that's like candy looking, that's not real candy, because I want this to last quite a while. So I just gathered, little gumdrops, little, what do you call these, peppermints and things like that. Anything that looked like candy. I also found these cool little things, and I thought they were perfect. They're actually like little erasers, but they're just small enough, to look like those little candies that you put on cookies and things like that, and I think this is going to work out nicely. Let's see what we can come up with. I also had a lot of little odds and ends and weird things that I just save. It's like, oh, that looks Christmassy. And the all important number one thing you're going to need is white puffy paint. That's going to be your, I say in quotes, frosting. So you're going to need a lot of it. I went through a whole jar of that, and I had one and then I had a half of one. So the first thing, I'm just kind of planning this out how I want this, and you're going to notice that these lights kind of hang down really, really long. So to combat that, I thought I would tie these all back. I was literally making this up as I go, and before I tackle the lights, I thought, what would glue gun look like? Can I make it look like, icicle frosting? Because I don't have a lot of that puffy paint. As you know, it's not the cheapest paint. It's about $6 a bottle or something like that. So I thought for the big areas, why don't we try using glue and see if we can get it to dibble dabble down. Have you ever tried to control glue? It's not very easy. Luckily, it does dry relatively quick. So just patience, patience, patience. And if it does start dripping too much, I just tipped it the other way really quick. I gathered a new skill making frosting from glue gun. As I went along, I decided I was going to put my little peppermint candy beads on there too. I fully did not expect these to stay on because, sometimes plastic with glue guns, they just pop right off because it's plastic on plastic basically. But these suckers stuck on good, so it was a nice little side effect here. I kind of want to just like a place setting for them. You know how when you make an actual gingerbread, you're putting frosting on and then you squish all the candy in there and it leaves an imprint? That's what I wanted, but it actually stuck, so they stayed. My tip is once I went all the way around and just kind of made the initial little globbers all the way around, then I went back and tried to make, calculated little drips like this. So I just put a glob of glue there, kind of turned it upside down so it wouldn't drip all the way down. Like I said, I gained a new skill. I don't know when I'll ever do this again, but I now know how to control glue. It's the new avatar, Airbender, the glue bender. All right, we got it to about where we want it. I know right now it doesn't look like anything, and you'll see I'm working on all 4 of these houses. I'm just going to show you the big one because that's the impressive one, but I'm making 4 at the same time. So you might see a little progress in the background there too. But I thought, you know, of course, there is such thing as a clear glazed donut frosting kind of thing, but we're not doing that for this, so I'm going to paint all the glue drips in white. This took about 2 coats to get a decent coverage. You might have to do like if you do this, do a light coating over the top because, you know, painting on plastic, you got to get that base coat and then paint it over. But you know what? Pretty good. Looks like frosting. I stared at a lot of little pictures, went through Pinterest, got some inspirations, seeing what a gingerbread house actually looks like. And I think the one important thing is the roof, because that's the biggest surface area. And you kind of want a pattern, something, you know, pleasing. I did all 4 slightly different. But this one we're going to do a little scallop pattern. And I did kind of get myself started. I measured it out so that I'd start out with some even scallops. Now, I will say, well, it could be just me, could be my bottle, whatever. This is a whole new talent in itself. Getting it even, don't beat yourself up because, you know, making frosting on a cake isn't even all the time unless you're 100% professional. And then every once in a while, my paint would just, you know, spit out. It's like, no. So patience. It does take a little time. I decided to edge the sides a little bit just to make it a little nice and neat. I'm also kind of calculating how much paint I have because I only have about almost 2 bottles. So, And you'll notice that, you know, the drippies that we did with the glue gun, that we add several more layers to that, so don't you worry. And now we can do the other side. All right, we got that, and we did both sides now. Now we can add our little candies. And I basically just dumped out, because it's kind of assorted different designs. I don't know how many is what. I started out, I wanted them all to be red and white, but then I noticed that I absolutely do not have enough of those. So I kind of changed the pattern a little to the blue little candies. So we have mint and spearmint. Make it work. Luckily, a good and bad thing is this puffy paint. It could be my house. I live in a little tiny cabin house, and our heat source mainly is our fireplace. So it is a little chilly, and so this doesn't dry really, really fast, which works in our favor for this kind of thing, but it also works against us when you accidentally touch it all the time, which you are going to see in a little bit. Ta-da! It already looks like a gingerbread house. Super cute. Alright, remember these lights? Now, I took, you know the twisty ties you get at the produce department? These that I kind of, borrow. I tied them all up so that they lay a little flatter, because they just hung down way too low. And you're going to see, oops, don't look at that. Don't look. Yeah, it was from my sleeve. I reached across and smushed it, but I found these two little gingerbreads that my mom made 1,000 years ago. Hi, Mom. And I think, and a couple extra little wood pieces. I'm going to put some cookies on top to cover that up. There's always a solution to a problem, right? We just got to be creative. So back to the lights. Yeah, I smushed them up. I counted out there's 10 lights on this one, and I'm trying to make it so that, one light goes in the middle and just kind of line it up that way. And then I had to think of how am I going to attach these and not make them look weird. So first I just glued them up normal with my not white glue, but alcohol-based glue. Kind of a super glue. It's a gel super glue. Once I got those all stuck on there about where I want them, you can see I use a lot of clothespins to kind of hold them where I want them. Get a bag of these clothespins, I tell you. They're at the dollar store, just get a bunch of them. And then I thought, that's going to stick out a lot. How can I cover those up? I know, my glue gun. So I just glopped, it didn't hurt the lights at all. I just glopped the glue all over these lights. So what we're thinking is this is going to be like frosting, So we're going to try to cover it up as much as possible. So I'm going to keep close to the edge, glop over the parts, and then I'm, just like I did before, I'm going to paint it white. I think on this particular, I almost said dollhouse, but gingerbread house, what took the longest was the eaves on this house. I glued, made drips, I painted, I put the lights on. I had to adjust the lights, and then I glued again, and then I painted again. And then you're going to see later, I'm going to put the puffy paint over the top of that. It's one of those work in progress. Just do it until it looks right to you. Once I got to the back, you're going to have the battery pack to deal with and all these extra wires. So what I thought is I just took a plain old regular plastic straw, and I'm going to have that go. I cut kind of a slit down the back and then shoved the wire in there. And I'm going to paint this to look like a little candy cane. And to deal with the box itself, I had, the overspray on my cardboard here. And I thought, perfect, we're going to make a little box out of our, quotes, gingerbread. Just make it to the size. Enough. I made mine a little bit tight, but future self, I would probably leave an extra, just a little bit, a few millimeters more so that you can pull it in and out. I didn't account for, the extra cord, and then, when you put glue in there. Just make it a little bit bigger than you think you need it. Now we're going to take care of that straw. Now if you got a straw that actually looked like a little candy stick, perfect. Mine didn't. So I'm just going to paint it white, and then I'm going to put some red stripes on there. Kind of switched between two different glues for this part, because I want it to actually stay there because it's the wiring and we don't want to mess with that too much. I'm going to use my gel super glue and just stick that down. But for the most part, a lot of this, I just use my glue gun. It worked out perfectly. Glue guns work great for, wood on wood. Anything porous works good. If it's too smooth, it's going to just pop right off. So material, those faux flowers, things like that, that's great for glue guns. But anything else, I would just use either some good tacky glue or your super glue. We'll just stick this on the back. And you're going to see here that, yep, it was a little bit too tight. So I did do a little bit of adjusting. I had to kind of glue it away from the building a little bit, just so that this battery pack can fit in there. But we'll cover all the edges and mistakes up with frosting. Frosting makes everything better. All right, we got our lights all managed and tucked away. So let's just let's make this a little prettier. So we're gonna paint all this. Like I said, there's several layers here, and I'm gonna paint these. If I'd known ahead of time, I probably would have put the lights on first, then glob the glue on there so you can do it all in one step. I didn't do that because I'm making it up on the fly, but that's what I would do. There we go. It's all painted. Doesn't look the prettiest, so I thought, you know what? One more layer. I'm going to cover this all up with some of the puffy paint just to make it smoother. You know, I like that, you know, the smooth frosting effect. Plus the puffy paint is shinier than my acrylic paints. Ta-da! Much, much better. I think we got it. Don't touch it anymore. And it kind of hid all those ugly wires. That was my goal. Alright, now that it's dry, and I can actually touch it without it gloobing all over the place. That's this puffy paint, for me, took forever to dry. So that's about a day's worth of drying. And you can see I also covered up the edges of the box in the back too. Nobody's going to see it very well. And they light up. Yay! They should. Alright, time to deal with my mess up here. It's completely dry now. I'm going to take that middle little candy out of there. And man, that was stuck in there. So if I didn't glue these down at all. That is purely from puffy paint. But I decided, I found a couple little wooden pieces. I like this little star, and I think it's going to fit just right. I'm going to save the little gingerbread men for the front. So, I like them a lot. And it's a little homage to my mom's art. She toll painted forever and ever and ever. And they're perfect. I mean, it's like they were made for this. So all I did for the star is I just painted it the same color that I did the house, the kind of the suede color. And then we're just going to frost it and put a few little decorations on it. Perfect. Looks like a little cookie. And we're just going to set that aside. And we're going to work on the front. So this is fun. And I'm very carefully trying not to get my sleeve in here. So if you're working with puffy paint like this or any kind, have a piece of paper or something to the side of you to get it going. Don't start it on the project because it will splooch everywhere. So I'm just going to make some sort of pattern on the front here. And now that we know that this puffy paint will hold on to our stuff just like glue, I'm going to put some sparkly snowflakes here and then just keep on decorating. And there we go. This is after it's dried a little bit. And I went all the way around. Now, I did have to do one side so that lay it flat, let it dry, do another side, let it dry. So this took a little while. Just the drying time took a while. And you can see I covered up that splotch. We'll never know. It just looks like it kind of slid off a little bit. Super cute. Now let's deal with the bottom here. So I found these gumdrops, which were way too perfect. I pulled they were ornaments, so I just pulled all the strings off. They're just plastic, and these are they're too cute to not use. So I'm just gonna stick them around the bottom, like so. These I actually glued on, just with my tacky glue. It's turning out so cute. And one more thing though, we're going to, I have this bag of snow. It's kind of like plastic shavings, but this is perfect because it'll be like you put coconut at the bottom to make snow, you know, for the gingerbread house. So I'm just going to do a lot of white glue. I just use the regular Elmer's school glue. Whenever you want to, I use it for my static grass and anything that I need to cover a big surface. Don't use your expensive glue for that. Use just the plain old white glue that you can get $1 a bottle, you know. And I'm just gonna glob it all over the place and then put my fake snow right on there. And as I went, I just, you know, I added a little bit here and a little there. It's kind of fun to do. So I put a little bit on the roof, a little bit there, and just make sure when you're doing this, it gets all over the place. It's not as bad as glitter, but it's fine like that. And I just turned it upside down, get all the excess off. But it makes a great effect. And da-da-da-da! There we go! It turned out really, really good. I was really proud of this one. Actually, I took it over to my parents' house and they stole it. So it's on their mantle for now. And the lights work. Too cute. And here I'll show all the other ones that I made. This is, you know, it's completely truthfully outside. They turned out really, really cute. These little birds, by the way, I bought them, 2 years ago. I got them at Target, and they are the cutest things, and they're up year-round. But, yeah, I had a lot of fun making these. So, if you like this, you attempted it, it inspires you, something gives you a good warm feeling inside, hit that like button. I would really, really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it helps support me and my crazy kooky ideas. And maybe I'll make something else. Something else that will come out of my brain. So I will see you next time, and I hope you're staying warm and cozy in the winter season. And bye!